Everyone knows Paris. The Eiffel Tower. Croissants. Cute cafes. But today, we're skipping Paris. Because if you ask French locals where they actually go on vacation, they'll smile and name places you've probably never heard of. Today, I'm taking you to real France. Quieter towns, dramatic coastlines, secret villages, and food that will absolutely ruin your standards forever. Let's go where the locals go. Step 1: Annecy. The Venice of the Alps. Imagine pastel houses, canals, crystal clear water, and mountains in the background. That's Annecy, in eastern France. Annecy dates back to Roman times and was once part of the Kingdom of Savoy before becoming French in the 1800s. Its old town still feels medieval. If fairy tales were real places, Annecy would be one of them. Picture this: snow-capped Alps in the background. A lake so blue it looks edited. Tiny canals winding through pastel-colored houses with flower boxes on every window. Locals don't just live near the lake, they live with it. After-work swims are normal here. Weekend picnics by the water? Standard lifestyle. This place feels like a vacation town. Because for French people, it is. The lake is considered one of the cleanest in Europe. Annecy hosts an international animation film festival. It's basically the Cannes Film Festival for animated movies. The cycling path around the lake is built on an old railway line. The watercolor changes depending on the light. Sometimes turquoise, sometimes deep blue, sometimes green. If it's your first time in Annecy, here's how to do it right. Morning. Walk through the old town before crowds. Grab a croissant and coffee by the canals. Take photos near Palais de l'Isle. Midday. Rent a bike and ride part of the lake loop. Stop at a quiet beach area to swim. Evening. Picnic by the lake at sunset. Or have dinner away from the canal streets. Better food, better prices. Bordeaux, wine. But make it cool. You've heard of Bordeaux wine. But Bordeaux the city? Massively underrated. This city got rich from wine trading and river commerce. It was even ruled by England for 300 years. Which is why the wine trade with Britain is so strong. When people hear Bordeaux, they think fancy wine. And maybe old rich guys in vineyards. But Bordeaux the city? It's cool. Like, effortlessly cool. Imagine golden stone buildings glowing at sunset, a wide river reflecting the sky, locals biking everywhere, and wine bars that feel more like chill hangouts than formal tastings. This is wine culture without the snobbery. Bordeaux sits on the Garonne River in southwest France, close to the Atlantic coast. That location made it one of Europe's biggest wine trading ports for centuries. Bordeaux food is rich, local, and built for wine pairing. Bordeaux wine is famous, but locals don't overthink it. You'll see people grabbing a €4 bottle from the grocery store and drinking it at sunset by the river like it's a soda. There are over 6,000 wine estates in the Bordeaux region. Bordeaux produces around 700 million bottles of wine per year. The famous mirror water fountain, Miroir d'Eau, is the largest reflecting pool in the world, and kids splash in it all summer. The city is nicknamed La Belle Endormie, the Sleeping Beauty, because it was quiet for years before becoming trendy again. The region exports wine to more than 170 countries. Bordeaux has one of the longest pedestrian riverfronts in Europe. Person walking what first-time visitors should do. Morning. Coffee at a café near Place de la Bourse. Walk along the river while the city wakes up. Midday. Visit La Cite du Vin, interactive wine museum. Even non-wine people love it. Grab lunch from a local bakery or market. Afternoon. Wine bar hopping. Or train day trip to Saint-Emilion, a medieval wine village. Evening. Picnic by the river with canellis, cheese, and wine. Sunset photos at the Miroir d'Eau. Cap 3 Alsace, Colmar and Strasbourg. Fairytale France. If you've ever seen a village and thought, wait, this looks like a movie set, you were probably looking at Alsace. This region in eastern France feels like France and Germany blended into a storybook town. Think colorful half-timbered houses, cobblestone streets, flower boxes on every window, canals reflecting pastel buildings, and church bells echoing through narrow lanes. And the wild part? People actually live here. This is just their normal Tuesday. Globe showing Europe Africa. What makes Alsace so unique? Alsace sits right on the border of Germany, along the Rhine River. Culturally, it's French on paper, but German in architecture, food, and even some traditions. Locals grow up with two influences: French elegance plus German coziness. That's why the towns feel extra charming and extra cozy at the same time. Alsace has switched between France and Germany multiple times over the last few centuries due to wars and changing borders. Because of that, some people have German last names. Some locals speak Alsatian, a Germanic dialect. Architecture looks straight out of Bavaria. But culturally, life runs on French rhythms. Cafes, wine, long lunches. This mix gives Alsace its unique personality. It doesn't feel like anywhere else in France. Alsace is known for white wines, and the Alsace wine route is one of the prettiest drives in France. Vineyards rolling through tiny villages with castle ruins on hills. Colmar is often called one of the prettiest towns in Europe. The canals in Colmar's Little Venice make it look like a real-life fairy tale. Strasbourg's cathedral was once the tallest building in the world for over 200 years. Strasbourg is home to the European Parliament. So fairy tale town by day, serious politics by week. Many houses in Alsace are painted bright colors because color used to show the owner's profession. For Provence. Lavender. Sun and slow living. Provence doesn't feel like a place you visit. It feels like a place you accidentally move to and then forget your old life. This is southern France at its most iconic. Sun-washed villages on hilltops, lavender fields stretching to the horizon, old stone houses glowing gold at sunset, and markets bursting with tomatoes that actually taste like tomatoes. Time slows down here. Not because people are lazy, but because life is meant to be enjoyed properly. Provence sits along the Mediterranean in southern France, where the sun shines over 300 days a year. Provence was once part of the Roman Empire, and the Romans left receipts. You'll find ancient amphitheaters in Alsace and Orange, Roman aqueducts like Pont du Gard, old roads and ruins tucked into modern towns. Later, artists like Van Gogh came here chasing the light. He painted some of his most famous works in Alsace, inspired by the intense southern sun and colors. This region has always attracted people looking for beauty, warmth, and a slower rhythm of life. In Provence, food is not rushed. Markets are social events. Shops close for long lunches. People greet each other by name. This is where the French idea of joie de vivre, joy of living, feels real. You wake up slower. You eat longer. You walk more. You stress less. And somehow, everything feels more balanced. Provence gets 300+ days of sunshine per year. Lavender fields bloom best from late June to mid-July. The scent of lavender is traditionally used to keep moths away from clothes. Van Gogh painted over 300 works during his time in Provence. What first-time visitors should do? Morning. Visit a local market for fruit, bread, cheese, and olives. Walk through a hilltop village like Gourds or Roussillon. Midday. Picnic with market food. Visit Roman ruins like Pont du Gard or Alsace Amphitheater. Afternoon. Lavender fields. Seasonal. Swim in calanques near Marseille or Cassis. Evening. Outdoor dinner under string lights. Rose at sunset. Slow walks through quiet village streets. Provence makes you forget what day it is. It's warm stone under your hands. Lavender in the breeze. Rose sweating in your glass. Old men playing cards in village squares. Long shadows at sunset. Quiet streets at night. It's not a checklist destination. It's a mood. And once you feel it, you start planning your return before you even leave. Brittany. Wild coast and Celtic vibes if Provence is sun-drenched and soft. Brittany is wind-blown and powerful. This is France's wild Atlantic edge, where cliffs drop into crashing waves, lighthouses stand alone in storms, and the sky changes mood every hour. Brittany doesn't try to impress you. It just exists, raw, proud, and deeply rooted in its own identity. And the locals? They'll tell you immediately. Brittany isn't just a region. It's a culture. Brittany sits in northwest France, stretching into the Atlantic Ocean like a rugged peninsula. It feels different from the rest of France because historically, it kind of was. The culture here is deeply Celtic, more connected to Ireland, Scotland, and Wales than to Paris. You'll hear traditional bagpipe music. You'll see Celtic symbols carved into stone. Some road signs even appear in Breton, a Celtic language still spoken by locals. It feels ancient here. Brittany was once an independent duchy, Not fully part of France until the 1500s. For centuries, it maintained its own traditions, language, and identity. Brittany has its own Celtic language. Breton. The pink granite coast gets its name from naturally pink-colored rock formations. Brittany produces some of France's best sea salt, especially from Guérande. The region inspired many medieval legends about King Arthur. It's powerful. It's proud. It's mysterious. And when you leave, you don't just remember the views. You remember the feeling. Normandy. History plus countryside. Normandy feels peaceful. Wide green fields. Apple orchards stretching for miles. Cows grazing under big open skies. Quiet villages with stone houses and flower-covered windows. And then you remember. This peaceful countryside once changed the course of world history. Normandy is where beauty and memory live side by side. Normandy sits in northern France along the English Channel. It's close to Paris, just about 2 to 3 hours away, but it feels like another world. This is rural France at its finest. Coastal cliffs, medieval abbeys, farm country, fishing villages, and some of the most important World War II sites in the world. It's slower, quieter, more reflective. Normandy's name comes from the Northmen, Vikings who settled here in the 9th century. Yes, Vikings. In France. One of those Norman dukes was William the Conqueror, who invaded England in 1066 and changed British history forever. Fast forward centuries later, and Normandy again became the center of history during D-Day in World War II. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces landed on these beaches in one of the largest military operations ever attempted. A turning point in the war. Today, the beaches are quiet, but they carry weight. Normandy cows are famous for producing some of France's richest milk. The region produces over half of France's apple cider. Omaha Beach is now peaceful farmland behind the sand. The cliffs of Etretat naturally form an arch called the Needle. Normandy butter is considered some of the best in France. It's peaceful, but powerful. You leave Normandy not just with photos, but with perspective. Paris is beautiful, but France is bigger, deeper, slower, and way more interesting outside the capital. Paris is a postcard, but real France is the lifestyle. Slow lunches, quiet villages, wild coastlines, and food you still dream about years later. If you want the real France, go where the locals go. Backhand index pointing down. Comment which region you want next. Thumbs up, like, and subscribe for more real-world travel. Airplane and start planning your escape from Paris crowds.